the meeting going. Let me just start off quickly by saying that, as most of you know now, Ashley cannot be with us in the evenings anymore for various family-related things. So we're setting it up different. Jonathan is also helping to make a recording of everything that we do, and it also goes on Facebook, so we should be okay. Ashley will still put all the minutes together, et cetera, et cetera. So because of that, I have a new duty. I have to officially do the roll call now. Okay. And I can already see Blair Davis.
Here.
Cody Olette.
Here.
Me, Frank Alleman, here. Fred Ruhlman.
Here.
Jaylee Stokes.
Here.
Jonathan Chapman.
Here.
Paul Oleon.
Here.
Richard Weinberg. Not yet. He should be coming by Zoom. Ted Dobbett.
Here.
The only person we're missing at the moment is Glenn Archambault. Okay? All in agreement? Okay, fine. It looks like we don't have any citizen statements, but let me, ahead of time, just welcome, please, the new town manager, Brian. Just pronounce the name, Pelayo. Pelayo, thank you. Thank you for coming and doing the time. And, oh, hold on, we have a citizen coming in very quickly. We're just at the point of citizens. Do you wish to say anything? No. Okay, we can move on. Very good. Approval of the minutes. Okay, anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. We approve as read.
Second.
I have only one comment. I don't mind being in charge of vice, but I prefer not to be in charge of vice as the vice chair.
In charge of what?
Vice, the vice chair. That was in the previous meeting minutes. Other than that, change. All righty. Other than that, is everybody in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
All say aye.
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 No
Aye.
dissents. Thank you. Other than that, we are ready to start with the Killingley Business Association. But before we do that, Jaylee is now a full member of our commission.
I technically wasn't sworn in yet.
Okay.
I came here Friday, but I forgot that the town hall was closed on Friday at 12,
Mm-hmm.
so not yet technically.
Oh, I
have to get
thought that they
sworn
had voted you
in.
on.
They did, but I think I still have to do that
She has to be sworn.
technically.
You have to hold up all the Constitution.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Let's welcome you anyway.
Okay.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Folks, I don't know what's happening, whether the Killingley Business Association will be here. I was told that only one member could possibly be coming instead of two, and I said that was fine. I was happy with two. I'm reluctant to start discussion about the 22nd of October in case they suddenly come in. You are somewhat associated with the business
I'm a
association.
coordinator, yeah.
Do you have any idea? They are coming.
I thought so, but maybe not. Wait, what is the date?
I just heard a door.
Oh, you did?
Okay.
Thank you, Brian. Let me switch it off. Oh, there we go. Wonderful.
I don't have any correspondence saying they're not coming, as far as I'm aware.
They were invited to come, for sure. To the new members of the public, are you from the Killingley Businesses? You're not? Okay. while we're still open, is there anything you would like to say? Please come up. What you will find is there's a little at the front where you pull it across until it's green, then people can hear and it'll go in.
Press the button.
Press the button. Okay. Hi. Hi, I'm Eli Wallace. My pronouns are they, them. It's my wife and my daughter over there. We live on Upper Maple Street. We are here because we're curious and concerned and excited for the future and visions of Killingly. One thing I wanted to note, I saw your, because you talked about it last time, your vision survey in Two Dogs. I guess just some like constructive feedback would be, it just seems very like, just share your survey, or like just take this survey. Like it doesn't explain what it is or like what people are trying to do with it. So maybe just something like, hey, share your vision. Even that I think would be a little bit helpful if you're looking for more surveys. But there's that. And then another thing that we are kind of, I guess, concerned about or just more curious about is we moved here just after the vote on the data center that is being constructed. So just curious about that and what we know about it here or what people generally know about it. Yeah, I don't know very much about it, or if anyone here does know about it or has any information or somewhere to direct us. But yeah, curious about it. But yeah, thank you.
May I suggest the data center is something that is not really part of what other than, but we have here the town manager. Maybe you could tell them something about the data center and where it's happened?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of details on the data center. I know there's a prospect of a data center being built in town, but it hasn't applied yet formally. Yeah, so I don't think we're at that stage where we know any more than it might be coming. And yeah,
I think I
a
read.
good person to connect with would be our economic development coordinator, Jill.
Okay.
And
Great.
I can give you my card and you can
Yeah,
call
I
the
appreciate
office
that.
and
Yeah, great.
speak to her.
Thank you.
What is the consensus of the commission? Do we move forward?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
and if they come, we'll finish up what we're talking about, and they'll wait their turn, and we'll get back to them.
Yeah, or they can reschedule. Otherwise, we'll be here
Well,
all night.
I'm not against rescheduling, but it would have been nice if they had told us ahead of time. And then just to not come, presumably for a good reason. But okay, we'll leave it at that. Everybody agrees we'll try and reschedule with them? Everybody in agreement, no
Yeah.
dissension?
If there's anything else to do?
Okay. In that case, we've done J. Lee. Time has come to talk about October 22 and how we do it. As you know, and this is going out also on Facebook and to the public, so that everybody knows, on October 22 at the library in town in the evening, I think it's 6 to 7, for the public to give us input on their views of what they think the future of this town should be. So we would welcome everybody on that day, very much so. There will be more advertising, but at the moment now we are planning how to do it. Would anybody like to start off? Do you have any thoughts? Anybody so far?
Well, I think, Frank earlier, the person helping us with the technology for tonight did mention, right, that potentially we could have a speaker and there'll be 2 microphones, I suppose, to kind of hand back and forth with members of the audience. So should somebody like hold the microphone potentially? I guess like being one of, like somebody to kind of almost host in a sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking, remember, just previously we spoke to our technology expert, and she said she will be going over with Ashley early in October to assess the room and to assess whatever equipment she needs to bring there, because it will be on Facebook, it'll be live, okay? And she did say she'd have 2 mics, maybe 3, and I suggested probably 1 mic at the head table and 1 with somebody walking around for questions. Now, we have the 7 questions so far that we have been using. Do we want to follow that same format and ask each question as we go along? How do?
I think we gotta find the way to make it the least pedantic
Okay,
and an engaging conversation while still not controlling the conversation, but like, empowering a flow, you know? The thing that I think would be good for us in terms of consistency is asking people to introduce themselves, and if there are a couple of little identifiers that they like, where do you live in Killingly? Maybe how long have you been around? Or, you know, like help us as we're collecting the data and the input to be able to sort of categorize folks into perspectives that they're offering. Because I think as we begin to craft the vision, it'll be useful to us to be able to say, well, particularly our younger generation seem particularly consumed about X, but our older folks have Y on their mind, or, you know, the different demographics, how it plays out, that would be useful to us. So whoever's, you know, kind of consolidating that information that we hand to Cody to put through his models, can be used for really something fruitful. So I guess, like, the 7 questions, great. I think they're a great starting point. I'm not personally particularly married to them, but that intro a little bit. Also community building, for the sake of community building and who are we talking to, that would be good.
Is it a workshop? Is it a special meeting? Because there's 2 questions I had. If it's not a special meeting, what are the rules of engagement in terms of us being there?
It is an
Okay.
official meeting.
It's an official meeting. So that's good in my mind, because we can kind of, if somebody wants to go off the rails or what, or, you know, we can kind of bring them back being a special meeting. But Jonathan, I thought what you were maybe going to was almost having some kind of like a moderator, for lack of a better term, to maybe kind of keep the flow going and things along those lines, as opposed to all of us peppering
Yeah, I think
questions
I think an organic conversation would be
Yeah,
useful.
but to have
us.
somebody kind of
Who
lead it
facilitates
and
it.
bring it back, et cetera, I think we'll get a lot more out of a discussion, maybe almost.
Yeah.
And then the last piece I was thinking of, I do really like the idea of where do you live in town, because I go with what Jay Lee said in the very beginning of all of this, making sure we kind of hear from every neighborhood. And I'm not sure we really have a way to track that so far, so that's what I like about that where you're from type of thing.
I'm also mindful of our deepening political divide, particularly in our own community.
Agreed.
At our last meeting, we had an individual with some political garments on that I found distasteful for a board that has a group that's come together apolitically
Which should be
in an
stated.
effort to be like community oriented. So I think that it's important for us as we engage this conversation to be sure whoever is facilitating that is firmly able to, if we veer off into a political arena,
That's what I
to
meant
get
by
us
the
back
moderator.
on
Yeah.
track,
Mhm.
because that's not the point of what this group is doing.
Agreed.
absolutely. Who else would like to say anything?
We need to
So-
talk about the advertising.
Yeah, we'll come into that, but first of all, correct me if I say it incorrect. You were suggesting a very open kind of discussion, sort of, with somebody going around and asking people, tell us what you think? How do you want to do that? From the front of the audience, bring them up, or is somebody going to be walking around? What are your thoughts? You were pretty clear.
So for full disclosure, I'm not gonna be able to be there. So I don't wanna say how it should go. But a vision I would have for it would be an individual who poses a starting question, and then as they need to be kind of quick on their feet, and if something comes up that someone says and they pay attention to facial expressions and how people are reacting, and if a certain statement or phrase gets a titter, okay, well, let's explore that a little bit. What does that mean? And why did that resonate with people or not resonate with people? Or do others concur with this? Or what's another perspective someone might have? You know, and I think it's got to remain invitational. And I think there's going to be some patience there. And there's a sweet spot between like urging response and also providing silence for people to sort of gather their gumption to talk, you know? And I don't know what that sweet spot would be necessarily, but
So
personal thoughts. I'm open, whatever.
one or two of you will then, I hope, volunteer to be those that you're going to be walking around, maybe just looking, right? To see for responses. If I recall correctly, there was a meeting, a very good one that I attended, where they were obtaining information about the potential new town manager. And it was a very good meeting. But there were a couple of people there that kept on talking and talking and bringing up the same topic 20 times over and over. They were unhappy. And yes, that needs to be watched very carefully. I agree with you. So we should probably open the meeting with a general statement of why we are doing this, why does the commission exist, and we're looking for input, right?
I think so.
And then on a very open kind of a basis, look around and get input.
Yeah.
Any
I feel
oth-
like somebody who had like a background in psychology or therapy or
Something like that.
something like that would be super good at helping us facilitate something like that, but I don't know what his schedule's like.
I'll host the event, that's fine. We'll host.
That's like Ted's jam. So like he
All right.
could totally perceive, like in terms particularly of the perception of what's happening in the room, someone with those skills would be a real asset, I think. Not to put you on the spot. You can. totally
October
like-
22nd, I'll be there, yes.
Thank you. That was Ted, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm curious too, not to that point, but should we also, I suppose, like have a spot where people can submit maybe questions beforehand as well, or have people, encourage people to come prepared with
That's a
questions?
good idea.
I know like formally when they have like
Mhm.
town halls and things like that, perhaps the moderator or somebody will, you know, maybe gauge kind of questions or themes prior, and then I'd be able to identify, right, well, this person has a question. This isn't, you know, that may be cumbersome, I'm just kind of curious what people's thoughts are, if
I
that
think
seems
that's a great idea.
practical.
When people walk in, and maybe that's part of the work of the vision committee, is half an hour before we're greeting people.
Yes.
And we're handing them a slip of paper and saying, hey, we really love it if you have a question or a thought that you want to share with us beforehand. We're trying to sort of like put it together. And that could get the ball rolling.
I'm being kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but are we in the business of answering questions, or are we in the business of, other than why are we doing this? Or are we in the business, as we talked about in the beginning, about receiving the information and then,
That's fair.
I'm not sure I wanna open it to questions, because I'm not sure we'll have a lot of answers, other than the fact why we're doing this. And what I do like the idea of, maybe it wasn't brought up about, just reminding, here's what some of the basic questions were, if folks are just showing up because they're interested. But I like the way this is all gonna go, because I think discussions are just the best way to go. So this is all good.
Did you want to say something?
I agree with Paul. I don't think we were not asked as a commission to answer
No.
people's questions.
No.
We were asked to gather information. I think it's a slippery slope.
Sure.
I think
Okay, so
we
then
don't need to ask.
We
have
shift
them
away
ask
from that
questions.
idea, and instead, the point's to build a relationship. So before,
like
for the half hour before the meeting, when you go to somebody, you have something you can engage them with.
Mhm.
Hey, could you give us a thought about X, Y, or
Mhm.
Z?
Mhm.
And, I mean, question or not, just the wrong word, I don't wanna get us
No, fair.
sidetracked on it, but I think the like functionality of it would remain the same.
And I suppose one question we should be prepared to answer, right, I guess is like, what is the vision committee, what do they do? Right, I suppose we can answer that, right, what is our goal, what is our mission?
That, as I said before, for the opening statement, let's make a good statement.
Fair, okay, yeah.
And maybe I'll work with Fred, the two of us will come up with a statement for opening.
Okay.
Just to say why we are doing this, and folks, we're looking for input from you. If I may comment for the record, Richard Weinberg has just come online. I can see him up there. So he's connecting in too. Welcome, Richard. if he can hear us. Okay, very good. For your information, Richard, the Killingly Business Association has not come. I'm not sure why, so we'll try and find another date. So we're discussing already the 22nd as to how
Okay.
go about it, all right?
If I
That
could
sounds
jump,
fine with me. Thank you.
Okay.
if I could jump back to what Reverend Chapman is saying.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea that we have people there prior, like you say, a half hour before, so that you can get some conversation going. But rather than having them ask questions, while you're greeting and asking, you can ask them if they've thought about what they want to say to the committee about their vision, what they want, rather than have us answer questions from them. But I think it's a good idea to have us there early to greet people.
Yeah, I think the
Oh.
relationship building's important.
We have to be there early, folks, and I would hope as many of you that can come will come, okay?
Yeah, I think the goal of the meeting, I agree, just build rapport and trust with the community, kind of establish like a relationship, like, hey, we're here, and, because, word of mouth is very powerful. So if we have a good impression, that we're for you, right? We're here, we're listening, I think that can be very powerful. So I don't know, gathering information, might be a little messy if someone's writing it down. Like, I like the digital survey forms if you want concrete, data. So, I wouldn't stress too much on gathering too much information other than building rapport with the people that we have sworn to represent, right? So that's kind of like my thing. I'm not going to go into it with like having, measuring success of the meeting based on any type of quantitative results or anything, but more qualitative, just like the quality of the relationships that we build, getting our name out there, getting, just establishing a presence in the community that will only help us in the future.
But I do think it's an opportunity to follow up. We've all seen the survey results, and one of the big ones that comes out, we need more things for kids to do. In this environment, we get to say, like what? I got a 7-year-old, that doesn't mean I know what a junior high person wants to do, anything. But that's what I'm really kind of looking forward to, is that people talk better than, they talk better than they write a lot of times. So I think,
Yeah,
as
that's a
long as
good
we keep
point.
that environment going.
Yeah, if there's
Important.
like, if there's pressing concerns of the community, those
Sure.
can definitely be brought up to kind of hone in more to help establish, that will help us
Yeah.
establish a more precise vision
Mhm.
moving forward. So that is a good opportunity to do that. I agree.
But at some point, though, would like some input from the community. What is your vision? What do you think are the things that should be, in your ideas, 5-10 years down the road to make Killingly the place you would like it to be? That's
Kind of the point.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so, all right. Anything further before we start talking about how to, as you said, advertise and get the name out? Anything else about the meeting itself?
I think we need to decide who can be there on the 22nd.
I would hope, is there anybody who feels at this point they cannot be there?
Yeah, I can't be there.
Okay,
You can't.
that's fine.
You
That's
already
one
made that
person.
clear.
Point
I-
that finger, Fred.
You already made that clear.
Okay.
For the folks at home, right,
Clearly cannot speak for Glenn, and, but other than that, look, we have Benami. If we have 4 or 5, 6 people there, that's fine. And theoretically, since the public, you've got to have 5 people.
Right.
If there's not, then, yeah, okay.
That's what I
I
said.
think it would be good for us to also work with Ted about sort of like a timeline or flow of what we expect that meeting to be like. Public meetings, when you get in there and it goes for more than an hour in a conversational setting, like, it is hard to get a lot done in an hour, but people have busy lives, we have short attention spans. So I think, like, having somebody to help things keep going, and if it's still generative, great, but allowing people outs if like, if things have wrapped up, then let's wrap them up. Or if it's clear it's gonna keep going, adjourn and to say, we're gonna do this again. There's a lot of energy around this, or whatever, but giving ourselves permission to not have to do it all at once there, may be a good move on our part, I think.
Okay.
On
Like, how
that
long do we
vein-
have the room?
On that vein, maybe we should announce when it actually opens that we're only gonna be here for an hour or an hour, whatever,
Whatever it
an
is.
hour and a half. And if we need to go beyond that, we'll have a second meeting, so that people know that,
Yeah, an expectation I think helps.
yeah.
So what
Okay.
is that? I'm not gonna be there, you said.
Sorry. Ted, did you want to say? Thought I saw you.
Oh, I'm always ready to say something, but no, I don't have anything to say on that matter. I think an hour and a half is fair.
Okay.
People feel strongly about that one way or the other.
Well, in my mind, it depends on how many people are there.
Right.
If the place is full, we definitely are gonna have to go an hour and a half. And if you're moderating, you're going to have to decide how long a person can talk. And we should also make that clear, perhaps at the beginning, so that if the room is full, we can get as many people as possible.
In the room, or the rules for engagement, I guess in these meetings, what is how long does a person, 5 minutes?
Usually 5,
Shouldn't-
yeah.
Shouldn't exceed 5 minutes.
Okay,
And
That's
if,
what I like about the fact that it's a meeting, that we can play by these rules.
right.
yeah, we lost.
That's
For the citizens that are engaging, are they coming up to a microphone, or a microphone will be handed to them?
Right, somebody will walk around, myself
Yeah.
or somebody else.
This is like a
Mhm.
game show.
That
Right.
seems like more casual.
I think so,
You know,
too.
walking
Yeah.
up,
Right.
it's like you're on the spot.
I think we want to be more conversational
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
in generative.
Okay. Anything further about the meeting before we start how to promote it, advertise it, anything other?
I would just,
Go ahead, no.
oh, I like the idea of making it clear to, ahead of time, to anybody that's potentially going to be speaking or commenting with us, because we've already discussed the apolitical nature of the committee, and so just everybody knows ahead of time, no matter what we may agree with or may not agree with, each citizen has their time, and that way they are already aware that they're not being cut off because they're being disagreed with. For, again, if anything like that were to pop up, they're not being cut off because of, other than righted, into the direction of the question if it were to veer off. But just make it known ahead of time, hey, you are gonna get this amount of time. You will, if that's the conclusion of the time, that's the conclusion. It's not because of, these other factors that,
Right.
just so that everyone has the same expectation, I think that the clarity would be good for all.
And I guess, do we have a formal way of tracking the time as well? Like, is somebody gonna keep track of that? Should I keep track of that?
We
or-
can do something that, I have a timer.
Oh, perfect,
Which I can
okay.
bring, but, I would just point out to you that if we say 5 minutes and we're going for an hour, that's only 12 people.
Understood.
Yeah.
So,
The point is that.
bear that in mind.
Right.
There's a limit, our approach is that there is a limit.
Okay,
That
all right.
we have some kind of control over that.
And I guess we could encourage people, right? Like, you have 5 minutes, but if you don't need it, right, we do have other people to get to.
And normally 5 minutes is enough time for most people to
Right.
say what they want to say. Okay.
The only other thing that strikes me is, would it be hospitable to have some kind of refreshment for people? Like, just as a kindness, and to start everything on a cheery thing, church lady punch or something. I don't know. It's like the nectar of the gods to me, but you do whatever.
Cookies too?
Sure.
Okay, all right, I'm making little notes. Further comments before we move on to promotion, how to do it? No? Okay, we can come back to this if you have a thought. Okay, we need to advertise and promote this well. I did go over to Winnie, by the way, to ask them if they would do something. Their comment, first of all, was asked me, they said, is it political? And I said, no. And they said, oh, we're in the big political cycle at the moment. But they did say, all right, bring us a flyer and we'll see if we can do it. So on the Monday before, I can go to Winnie with a flyer and to say, would you be willing to talk about this on your radio? Okay? So that's one thought. I'm open to other thoughts. We, of course, have the banner now. The banner should be there, put on the front table, I assume, right? The one that we used at the high school. Any other thoughts? How do we promote this?
Utilizing social media, and everyone loves reels, like just quick 15-second. So hey, I'm et cetera from the Vision Committee, and have a couple of those, not just one, and then it just disappears into the internet. But being consistent communication, starting sooner than later. Just whatever, once a week. Consistent communication is key. So, not just a flyer, but just like that friendly engagement. A lot of people are using Facebook that we saw as well for communication. So posting some sort of modern type of, like trendy style, like.
Appreciate you looking at me, thank you.
I was gonna say, will you do that? Can you do that?
I don't know.
I was gonna ask Cody though, is it worthwhile coming up with a common post that we all can put out?
Yeah,
like your odds, I like your odds
a
of
quick
trendy being
introduction
with you.
post, yeah, or something.
But just some kind of comment where at least we're all sending kind of a similar message.
Yeah,
The
like,
excitement,
This is
whatever.
really a Jay Lee wheelhouse.
that's
She
good,
is
yeah.
a goddess of the social media.
Okay.
I tried.
I know. Turn your microphone on and tell us about it.
I was actually, oh, is it? Okay.
It's on.
I was going to mention social media. I thought last meeting we had mentioned possibly like having either a group or some sort of page, or a website to connect with Facebook for social media. Not just Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Like, are those too many things for us to do? Because I have time. I can do it. Like, I'm volunteering.
I think that there were some restrictions on like what represents the town. So I don't think we
Yeah.
were able to like create our own of those because we're a town
So I
entity.
thought actually it's mentioned.
But I think we are able to submit to the town things that maybe they'd be willing to consider to promote across their social media stuff. But we do have the boss right over here who can tell us, I guess.
Hello, boss.
Yeah, so we can make a script. I would maybe introductory scripts, maybe a couple of us could, or maybe even all of us, just have a phone. Hi, I'm Frank from the Vision Committee. I would love to see you at, this is what we're doing. We're having a meeting, whatever the script is that's like really quick and engaging. And then every week or so, just really, hammer it home that we want to see you there, and we're taking initiative to kind of reach out to you.
I like going up to people on the spot, like in town, and just randomly interviewing them about random stuff. Like, what do you think? And just, can I record this? And a lot of times people say yes,
Yeah.
especially if it's like a local business. They want that like exposure.
Jay Lee on the streets.
It's fun.
Well, I like a Chapman chat, perhaps we could, I think that has a nice
I
ring
will
to
say
it.
that I do have a prime spot at the church on our railing to put up a banner. That does get plenty of attention, but the banner we have, I don't know if it's outdoor rated, and we would definitely want it, in this case, to have details about, like, this particular thing, so that may or may not be useful, I don't know.
Let me just get back.
I had some-
Cody and you, will the two of you work on getting some of these short messages out?
Yeah.
Do we need a script here? Get message out, do we need a script here, quick script now for the two of you, or will you, what's the thoughts expressed?
What's allowed?
I think y'all should do it.
There are rules, right? Like,
Okay, we should
we're
all.
allowed to, it doesn't have to be at a meeting where we plan it, or? how do
We
you-
don't have another meeting unless we call
Okay.
a special meeting.
Okay.
I think the two of you should put something together and run it by Frank before you
Okay.
actually do it.
Okay.
That's all.
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
I can
You
do
can
it.
do email or text me,
Are you-
email, then
I
let
had
me
one more
know.
question.
Yeah.
With the survey boxes, I thought that was a really good point that was brought up earlier, that there isn't really a description of what it is or why it's there.
Yep.
So maybe a QR code for people to scan as well, that would bring us to something when we're seeing the boxes. That makes sense.
All right, so, yeah, Jaylee and I will plan something out, but, I would love to see, like, so I could film you, right? And then you say, we'll have like a script, hey, just invitation, whatever. And you could film me and then, but also others, like Blair, anyone else, like, just to kind of get that variety of people to say hi and what's going on, and just, I don't know how to, I wouldn't be able to post it or anything.
I'm seeing like interviewing people, like short, about like maybe some of the survey questions, and obviously with their permission, with the permission of the committee, be able to like broadcast it.
So interviewing other people to promote the vision committee?
Not to promote the vision, well, maybe
the
actually,
meeting,
in
that's the-
general, it would promote it, but I mean, more asking people their ideas, because I feel like if people are seeing other people give their opinions, then it kind of like sparks other people to give theirs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's a really valid point. As long as there's an action at the end of that, hey, come to the meeting, as long, because, that could be something as well, so.
So,
Were you thinking about like a man on the street kind of an interview or flyers or any of that? Have we visited the farmer's market on Saturday?
I love the farmer's market.
Yeah, I mean,
Love it.
Yeah, I'd go, like, is the traffic good enough to have someone there?
I can do that.
Yeah, like flyers.
okay. But for the moment, Cody and Lily, the two of you will work on this. You'll pass something, say by me, just what you think it should be. And if there's any way, anybody else that you would like to also do the interview, maybe we could come and see you, come over to your place or something, and you can do it. This is all agreed? Everybody's happy with this?
Just remember, we only have about 3 weeks,
Yes,
so this has to be done fast.
yes.
Okay.
Any other thoughts on promoting advertising? Let me mention one other thing. The town historian, Maggie has an article, as you know, each villager, and she has agreed to put in something about this in that. She thought maybe, she said, if you tell me the 7 questions that we've raised so far, she could print the 7 questions in anticipation. Or is that too much for her to put in?
Maggie is one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life.
She's one of the
I
ones.
said Maggie Weaver is one of the sweetest people I've
Yes,
ever
yeah,
met
yeah,
in
I
my
know.
life.
Mhm.
And she loves that column.
Yes.
And I'm not entirely convinced that it gets as much traction as she would love for it to have. So I'm not sure it really matters. I do think from a print perspective, a thing we could consider is, and I'm always shocked by this coming from Atlanta, when I moved up here and realized people still relied on this, I was floored. But the Turnpike Buyer and the Shopper's Guide,
Mhm.
at the church, if we don't advertise an event in that, it directly impacts
Mhm,
our attendance. And if we
mhm.
do, through the roof, people look through that. And so in terms of like print on the ground, getting in front of
Oh,
a
yes.
bunch of people that actually pay attention to it, an 1/8 page or a 1/4 page ad in both of those the week prior could go a long way. Now, we have a budget, but it's pricey and their prices have gone up. But, I mean, I submitted 3 ads this morning alone for the church. So I think that, rather than doing a new banner, I would almost side more on the Turnpike Buyer Shopper's Guide for this, if we were going to put money into spreading the word differently. And of course, Maggie too, she's wonderful, but.
You're absolutely correct. If I look through that all the time and I see it.
And your hands get dirty.
Oh yes, but it's there. So, let's make a decision. I'm not sure at the moment of the costs, but a 1/4 page, what do people think?
So what our standard at the church is a 1/4 page
Yeah.
kind of graphic ad.
Mhm.
And it's somewhere around $184 for 1 week in one magazine. So
It's one of those documents that you do a lot of this with.
Yeah,
And
but you gotta
something
grab
catches-
somebody's attention.
Something catches your eye, and you kind of lean on
Well,
it.
we've got the big eye
Yeah,
that
you have to
Richard
make-
made.
exactly.
So we need to put this ad together, what we want to go in, right? Anybody skilled at doing this? that has done that before, obviously, then.
Well, Richard's got a passion for it, not to put him on the spot.
I could take the basic elements that we used in the banner and try to prioritize those, them to be black and white, and rescale it to fit the quarter page.
I'll work with them on that. Why don't you send me a draft and we'll go back and forth a couple of times and refine it some? Because I advertise in there a lot for the church and I've learned a few things about what really gets picked up. And then we'll send it to the committee for final approval and get it in.
Okay, so
Great.
Richard, you will do
How
that.
often,
I will talk to you. We've just got to make sure that the date and the place, et cetera, is added, because, other than just the banner, right?
Yes, well, the banner we have, the banner, by the way, is suitable for outdoors, even though we won't be used that way.
Mm-hmm. But we have it on a picture that can be used for the ad.
I still have the same file, and we can pick elements out of that file. I can change the contrast. We can add new elements, so obviously to highlight what this is instead of just the vision committee, to get people to attend the public meeting.
Okay. You and I will work it out, we'll agree, and that'll go in the week before.
Yep. You gotta have it into Thursday before the Wednesday goes out, so.
Thursday
Yes.
before,
Feedback.
for
Gotta
the
happen
Wednesday.
fast.
Oh, yeah, I'll make sure that the timing is correct, that it comes out not the day after the meeting.
Yeah, we have to have it in, I think, by the 9th,
Probably by the 9th.
October 9th, because we want it to be published on the 15th of October, so it's in time for the 22nd. The
Mhm.
22nd
So
is
probably by
Wednesday,
the
and they may
9th.
not have time to see it, so we want it.
And only in the one, right, that's for this area, because there's a shopper's guide and the turnpike, and they handle different parts of town.
I mean, I say in for penny and for a pound, do both, but
Yes, well, the northern part of the town gets the shopper's guide, correct? So if you're gonna cover the whole town, you need both.
Do both?
Yes?
Everybody
I mean,
agrees?
I think we need to probably take a vote to spend the money, because we're
Okay, yeah, but,
saying we're
Yes.
spending
I
money.
make a motion, we take a vote to spend the money.
plus or minus, based on what you've said, it would be $368.
I'll just look up real quick and we'll know for sure.
So we're gonna do both, okay?
Just give me one quick second. Get on my hotspot. There we go. It's just money. I'm just kidding. I didn't
Okay.
say that.
We'll work it out, and I'll make sure that it gets up there on time to do it, okay? And I'll work with Richard to make sure that we have something that can go.
Oh, I
Revenue is
overspoke.
working.
$98
Revenue is working.
times 2.
Sorry?
98 times 2, so that's
Oh,
186.
98,
Saving money as we speak.
Yep.
whatever
If
it,
you publish in both, they give you a better rate. So
Okay.
There you go.
$98 times 2.
close enough, that's good enough. Quarter page, that's the note I've made, that's what we'll do, we'll adapt it for both.
Yep.
Do we need a vote for that?
Yes.
Well, would somebody like to make the motion?
Well, Fred just
did.
made it. Yeah.
Second.
There we go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No dissent? No dissent. Okay, good. So we have two forms. You will be working on your aspect, we will be working on that. Anything else? Do we want to leave any paper or postages or posters anywhere at the library or ahead of time or any other places with this?
If we do put together a flyer,
Mhm.
then it would be good to put it at the library, and it would also be good to put it down in the lobby down here.
Do we want to do a flyer?
I think we can take the quarter page ad that
And
Richard
make
and I are
that-
gonna work on and just print it on an 8.5 by 11. That's easy, not doing more work.
Yeah.
And I think it would be good if someone reached out to Claudette at the library, Claudette Stockwell,
Yeah.
and see if we can get that meeting on their little digital sign
Out in front.
in the front.
Yeah,
Okay,
good thoughts.
library,
It's like
yeah.
I advertise events a lot, you know what I mean?
Your
Up front.
experience is showing.
Speak to the librarian, okay. Any other thoughts?
I have a question for everyone. We have an executive meeting for the KBA Tuesday, and then the first of the month we're going to have like a KBA member meeting. are there any questions or anything you want me to provide or bring up at either of those meetings?
Why they didn't show up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that down first.
And,
It's not like they were subpoenaed.
is it something we did that offended them, or was it just that something happened and we can get them to come again?
Is that it?
Well, I do
For
think,
me.
I do think they're a critical part of what we're doing here.
Yes.
They represent a very large voice that we do need to hear from. And I think, I think they just need to be aware that their role is pretty strong in what we're trying to do. That's, if you just
Yeah,
reiterate that.
I don't think we honestly upset them because Ashley said they were coming. So
No, I don't think
something
anything-
must have
that's just
happened,
an
and I'm aware of that.
I was really looking
Okay.
forward to hearing from them. I had a number of
Yeah,
questions
I
about
agree.
how they approach.
Let me just go
This
back, I
whole
don't
thing.
think we finally resolved, at least I didn't hear it, the town historian. What do we want in addition in her article? Is it the 7 questions? Are people okay with that? To let the town know this is what's coming up?
Sure.
Sure.
All in
Her-
agreement? Because I'll talk to her,
Aye.
I see her often. Okay, Maggie's okay. Are there any other thoughts on this topic before we just move on to just a little bit? Maggie, okay, yeah. Any other things we should be thinking of?
You know, I go back
Wow.
to what I mentioned earlier, what Jillian mentioned, it's, to me, the thing that stuck with me is truly figuring out a way to get to every neighborhood. You know, ranging from downtown to, out by the mills, et cetera, to just make sure we hear. Even if we don't hear from them, at least have them feel like they were offered.
Any thoughts or anybody on how
That's
to
what
do
I
that?
kind of struggle with that a
Like-
little bit, in terms of
Like,
how
I
to
hear you
do
say
it.
neighborhood, and what
Yeah,
strikes me is around here,
It's not-
like when, as an outsider who came,
Mhm.
like, I
That's
never
where
learned
I'm
about
at.
neighborhoods, but I did learn about the villages.
The villages is really.
Is that
I'm
what, more
talking-
what you're talking about?
That's really
Yeah,
what I'm
okay.
talking about. I used the wrong.
So like,
term.
how do we make sure every sort of historic village is represented?
Agreed.
And one of the shifts that the town has been making is
Mm-hmm.
trying to unify us away from thinking of ourselves as like
Sticking apart,
individual
yeah,
villages, right?
agreed.
Like not addressing Armelas, Danielson,
But
or
this
East
is a
Killingly, but
common,
it's just Killingly.
this is a common committee for something
Yeah.
along those lines.
Any thoughts on how to do that?
One possibility is, taking the flyer that Jonathan mentioned, the 8.5 by 11, which is the ad, and have certain businesses throughout town post it.
You know, I don't know if we just do something as simple and old school as a mailer, and take.
To the entire town? What are your thoughts on that?
It must be a good idea, because your eyebrows went way up.
The first thing I thought about that was money.
Of
That
course,
is
I
$200.
understand that.
I
What
understand
about
that.
at least like a flyer in every post office? Like all the villages have historic post offices,
Agreed.
Yes.
largely.
Agreed.
So like
Great idea.
that's a
But
way to
how-
at least.
And you are gonna reach somebody who's on foot, I get all of that, but not everybody is on, you just look at the numbers of the people who are in the Killingly residence groups, et cetera, it's still kind of a small percentage. I think if we're gonna do this once in a 10-year period, or once in a 20-year period, maybe it's not this year's budget that we do it in, maybe we ask for a budget to do it for next fiscal year or something, I'm just putting it out there.
Let me just, Ashley very kindly said, when she said she couldn't be coming anymore, she said, the advantage for you is you're not paying me anymore. So in a way, what I'm saying, there is a little extra money. I have no idea what that would cost.
Clearly talking and I'm clearly talking from a point of not understanding the cost. I am just.
Does
but
anybody
I
have,
want to explore it, that's all I'm asking.
how about, I'll make a note, I should talk then
I'll look
to
it up.
who, will you do it, to the post office?
We've
or-
looked at it for the church before about what does it cost to do like a mailing to certain zip codes or whatever, and it was definitely. and it was-
Okay,
Mhm.
to do the mailing, okay. I'll get back from you at some point.
We should at
Okay.
least start with putting the flyer at every post office. We should at least start
Right.
with that.
Okay. Okay, I think I made flyers at every. One other thought, if Winnie comes through to start, would you be willing to come with me to do the interview?
Oh,
Winnie?
absolutely.
Okay, good, all right, because usually in the past when this is done, I've done the once or twice, they often have 2 people and they go back and forth. on Winnie. God, I hope I
And
know all my
just as
numbers.
a side thought, the Killingly Business Association probably has 2 times a month that they do get slots with Winnie, is that correct? Maybe,
Every Thursday morning, and I will be there, but it's gonna be like, I think October 30th, I'll be on there.
okay.
Okay.
So a 4x6 postcard to 20,000 recipients on Vistaprint is $12,813.
How much? I
Forget
think
that.
we've just answered the question.
And we have a population of like 17,000 or whatever.
Really, that much?
Well, a letter is 78 cents or 79 cents now, so you still get bulk rates, but that's,
I'll ask.
I mean, I'm sure there's different companies that would shift around a little bit, but you buy
Yeah.
lists, like you don't input all the addresses yourself. You buy
There-
like mailing lists.
There's another format that a friend of mine talks about where they will just automatically send a flyer to everybody in town. They don't address it to a person.
That's what I think this is.
Is that what you were looking at? That's the one for
More or less, yeah.
12,000? Oh, God, I.
From the post office, it's usually cheaper. If you go to the post office, they will mail them out for you. You just bring them your stack and they'll stamp and all of that, and it's usually cheaper because they don't have to give you a news address. You don't have to buy anything.
There you go, so maybe more,
What
maybe
ab-
cheaper.
What about from the town? Weren't there like brochures or those KPRD, the colorful things that we got? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know the mailing cost in total, what it would
Okay.
be for mailing, so I can get back to you on
Okay,
that.
all right. It's probably not is the answer at this point.
I mean, even if it was half that cost, that would still be more
No.
than,
Our budget this year.
right.
Yeah, okay, all right. Any other thoughts on the topic of the 22nd now? Okay, anybody feel a need for a special meeting in between or not?
I'm not saying a special meeting, but we should confirm the outline of the way everything's gonna go, at least beforehand, right?
We just do that through email.
How about if
Back and
we
around?
pull this together, Ashley texts all of you, emails all of you to say, this is what we've decided, this is what we're doing. Is that good enough? Everybody agree? Then we don't need another meeting.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right,
Agreed.
I'll put something together and work with Ashley to inform ahead. Okay. Any other thoughts on the subject? Oh.
How you doing?
Welcome, Glenn. That's okay. I can now mark you as present. Okay, right. Just to keep you up to date, we have been making a lot of decisions which it'd be tough for me to summarize them all, but
My fault for being late.
the minutes will be reflective of what we talked about, and essentially, we've been planning for the 22nd. Unfortunately, the Business Association couldn't be here, so we did not talk to them at all. But is there anything you want to say ahead of time? No?
Nope.
Okay.
One thing I would add about communication, in the Survey Monkey that Ashley did, she has a directory of emails that people submitted.
Yes.
And we should absolutely ask her to email the people who submitted and say, we would love to talk to you in person. Here's your opportunity, please come.
Okay, say that again. This is,
So when people
They-
submit the online surveys, they include an email address. And looking at the data on the second to last page here, page 20, it shows that the vast majority would like to be contacted by email. She very likely has a directory of emails that are connected to these survey results. So we ask her to just send a direct email to them saying, we'd love to talk to you in person. Here's an opportunity. If you're available, come.
okay, that's good. Yeah, absolutely. I'll make a note of that too.
Yeah.
Ashley. Any other thoughts, before we go?
I have a question.
Yep.
When we're working on the social media projects, would it be a possibility to incorporate, like, kind of maybe like reading some of the responses to share with people, or is this not allowed to be shared publicly, or, well, it's on there, so it probably is, right?
I don't think it's like private information, but I don't know how we share it without, personally, I think we wait until we have more data that we can like boil down to big thoughts,
Sure.
rather than
Yes,
just like
yes,
specificity, like it may be too specific, I don't know.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was talking previously with Ted that we're starting to gather a lot of information, and at some point we'll have to schedule a meeting or a methodology for taking all of this and consolidating it into sense.
Yeah. The so what?
Let's give us another month or two on that one. Okay. All right, but that's good. Okay, any other, one more time? And then I'd like to recognize our council chair, Jason, who is our liaison. Is there anything you would like to come talk to us about?
So we didn't have a whole lot going on last month with the town council. We appointed Jaylee Stokes to the regular member position that was vacant. We appointed someone, Petros Casteris, to the Public Safety Commission, who we are still trying to, the council's working to fill that commission because we don't have enough members on a Public Safety Committee to have a meeting. We also authorized the town manager to execute grant documents with the state of Connecticut DEP for Urban Green and Community Grant Program. We appointed one of the council members to the Board of Education's Contract Negotiation Committee, and that was during the special meeting and regular meeting. We had a couple tax appeals that we settled. And that was about all we had going on with the council, and I don't know if anyone's heard yet. We did have one council member, Patty George, resigned effective last Friday, the 19th. And that's about all we have going on right now.
Do you have any thoughts that you'd like to express about our commission so far?
I just do want to add one thing. I know you had talked about mailing something out to everybody, and it wouldn't be to the 17,000 people, it would just be to the addresses. With my time with None Other Power Plant, we did do EDDM, it's every door direct mailer through the post office, and I believe the cost of it back then was, it was somewhere in the $2,500 to $3,000 range.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's,
that's better.
it's still
It's
quite a
lot,
bit of a
but
cost,
It's
but
way-
it's,
But not that.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's them like printing and all that stuff too, but yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
Even 2,500 is
is a lot more than what's in your budget.
half our annual budget.
Yeah.
But again, when
It's
does
a
the
nice
annual
thought.
budget end?
July
June-
next year.
Yeah, well, your next budget starts July 1st next year,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that would be
We're still gonna-
something,
We're still gonna be on the clock. by
Yep.
that time, right?
yep.
For another 5,000, yes.
Yeah, so, well, it doesn't mean that we can't, you know, like.
Run-
any-
run a
like any
deficit
committee,
now?
We can't ask for a little bit more money. Well,
I would
I-
encourage you to talk with the town manager about that, because starting next month is when they're gonna start working on putting together the budget for next year. So definitely consider what you think your budget's gonna be for the July 1st, 26 to June 30th, 27 fiscal year.
Thank you for that.
No problem.
Union budget. Okay, another one to add to the list. Okay.
Side question.
Sure.
How do you go about filling the empty slot?
Her seat was only gonna run until November 30th of this year.
Oh, okay.
So her term expires anyway, so the timing of it, could it be done? Yes, it could. We could get someone to interview next month to fill a vacated seat. Let's say somebody came to the special meeting, interviewed and was appointed to fill that seat. Once they get sworn in, they would have roughly 3 meetings before the term expires.
Yeah.
So it's not to say it can't be done. I remember when John Hallberg resigned, I forget the gentleman's name who filled his vacated seat, but I think he had 3 months that he served before John Hallberg's term had expired.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Thoughts, comments?
Thank you.
I noticed one other person in the audience in the back. Did you want to say anything? Okay, thank you.
I make a motion, we close.
Well,
Everybody, hold on.
There's, there's one more thing on here.
Cody, I
Review
forgot
the
it.
most recent survey data. I asked Ashley to put something on this meeting just to, John, you already mentioned it, with the survey that goes out. I think it is, I agree, I think it is important to have a couple other fields to fill out to better get an idea of who's answering the questions, and who is submitting the vision. So I do have a couple ideas that could be, I would like to be added as soon as possible to the Survey Monkey. One would be age group.
Okay.
One would be, like whether someone is a homeowner or a renter.
Okay.
Someone who is if they're a business owner or not. It could be marriage status, if kids live with you or not, right? Village, right? We could add village on there. I'm just brainstorming, throwing things out there.
Let's throw out the marriage status. You can ask how many people in the household.
Okay.
But there are couples in this town that have been together for years. They're not married. They're not gonna wanna put something like that. If you just say how many people in the household.
Yeah, I'm open to, I'm just throwing
Well,
things out there.
I'm just throwing that
measured.
at you, that's all.
I like learning about who's responding.
Would these be required fields or are they optional?
It would, so, optional, if they don't, it would be harder to determine who's answering the questions if they weren't filled out. I don't think it needs to be necessary, but it would be helpful to understand if the majority of people with, you know, whatever, kids or that they have a business.
If we're only
you
getting
know.
answers from one group,
Right.
then we need to find a way to target other groups to get input.
And knowing who's saying what demographically in order to understand everyone's interests or investments.
Would you put it at the beginning or the end?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like my instinct would be like at the very, like we ask the questions
Yeah.
and then at the end it says like, help us understand who's answering this
That's-
survey. And then,
I'm fine with that.
Not only if you put it at the beginning, you're gonna get some people that are just gonna.
Most of the forms I've seen with that kind of demographic data being collected, it's at the end,
At the end.
and it's usually optional.
This is, we're
Can
asking
we-
Ashley to do this, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
Now-
insert in that as to why we're asking? Because I think that's pretty powerful. What you were referring to is to ensure that we're hearing from as many different
I know,
backgrounds.
yeah.
Something along those lines.
we're trying to be sure we hear from all of
Yeah,
our
we're not being
citizens.
big brother or
Help
anything
us
like that. We
understand who
just
we're
wanna
talking to.
understand where,
Yeah.
who we're hearing from, that's all.
That's probably a good idea.
It's a really good idea.
That
to do
raises a
this.
question in my mind at the meeting on the 22nd. Should we also be trying to obtain this information?
It would be kind of
Hard live.
messy, kind of writing it all, I don't know how to.
Before you
capture
talk,
that.
how old are you?
Yeah.
What's your social security
Yeah.
number?
I mean,
Bank account?
And, yeah, that gets tough and could break up a flow.
Okay, I'm just,
When we do presentations, et cetera, we really limit ourselves to about 15 seconds about we are, what we do, time to go.
I wouldn't want to, go ahead.
I would say that some of the questions, at least in a live setting, would be self-evident based on the concern of the citizen. And I don't think there would be anything wrong in my mind with clarifying certain things. So if someone said, they'd be like, oh, okay, and, you know, where are you from? Or, you know, if someone says, oh, my husband thinks this because his job is this. And, oh, okay, so you're married, fantastic. Or my kids, blah, 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 how old are your children? I mean, they're very simple questions to get the same goal without making them seem like they have to go through
Put on the hot seat.
all these qualifiers to then be
Yeah.
taken seriously. It's just we're,
Okay.
again, like Cody said, we want to get an eclectic group and make sure that's the case. But doing so in a way that's still, again, back and forth conversation is more helpful than, again, just,
I think
Yeah.
we have to remember too, that we were all in agreement with Cody, that this meeting on the 22nd, we need to be strengthening the connection with the community, not worried so much about the exact information we receive. And I think if you try to do too much of the, are you married, is how many, you do too much of that, you're not gonna get what Cody was looking for. I think this is an opening meeting with the general public, and we just need to let them know who we are and what we're trying to do and get a connection with the public.
Cody,
Yeah.
just attached to the documents today is this full, all these wonderful responses. Are you able to somehow pull them together better, like you did previously?
Yeah, I just need it sent to me in digital form. Ashley did mention that she can send it to me in digital form, so I can load it into my models. And,
Okay.
so I just don't have it. I didn't have an opportunity to.
Okay.
But,
It's in the works.
yeah.
Okay.
I-
Excellent.
But should we agree on any of these fields
Yes.
in order to, like, ask Ashley to do it? So I can run off a couple of them again, maybe just the top couple, you know?
Sure.
Yeah,
So,
Run them by us
Yeah.
again.
so age group,
yeah.
Yes.
Age, senior citizen.
I don't know how to categorize it, homeowner or slash renter, I don't, what is that?
I think that's
That's
important.
it,
That seems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Business owner,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Kids,
and, kids living, like, if you have,
kids with.
Number of individuals in your
okay,
household.
number of individuals.
We, if possible, you can get ages of the kids, because the young ones compared to the high schoolers are different.
Yeah, well,
Under,
under 18 or?
well, I was gonna say, under the housing one, can we put like an unhoused option too? We have a fairly
Sure.
large population that depends on services in our town that I think deserve the voice too.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Any others that people can think
Length
of?
of resi-
Oh, hold on, just a second. Jason. Sit down.
One suggestion I have would be, rather than asking people individually these questions, what about the idea of, at some point in the meeting, just ask everyone there, say, can we have a show of hands, how many people are single? And then count how many people are single, how many people are married, how many people have children. That way, you're getting a number without having to ask each individual person, so you can kind of get a broad idea of roughly how many people. And I think people might be more inclined to raise their hand for something than to come out and say, oh, I'm married, I'm single, I have this many kids at home, this is how old my kids are. Maybe have those questions and just ask for a show of hands and have somebody counting numbers.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then someone may find love even,
Fairness-
right? And I'll be hosting, so, yeah. Yeah.
Richard's trying to say something.
In fairness to the population, instead of are you single versus married, how about, do you live with a partner?
You have a pen?
I guess my question about relationship
Mine's
status
running
is,
out.
what does it matter?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what
I
really,
mean, right, if you're
like,
single,
people in the household, particularly how many of them are under a certain age, we've had a lot of feedback about kids, that seems important to me.
I'm with you.
Yes, it
Geographic
does.
location in our town seems important to me. Ownership status versus renting indicates like transients or whatever, I think that seems useful to us. Marital status, I don't know what it really reveals to us.
I agree.
Or relationship status, so, and it would make it easier to just like not have to ask it, so.
yeah, I
Maybe we
would
skip that one.
not have it
I
would
agree.
be best.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Should village be in there? Like what village or
I would,
town or?
I would like to, when somebody stands up, if they could just let us know where they're from.
What
where they
part of
live.
This will
town?
also be
Maybe
on
not
the-
the village, just some area,
Yeah.
I do wanna just make sure we're tight, that's important, I think.
Isn't that what we do in town meetings? They go up and say like their address or something?
Yes.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
for the survey too. This is like, so.
And that's what we think we're talking about right now is the survey.
And you can make that a drop down of like what their options
Yeah,
are,
yeah.
village-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last one, I, a couple of them, but this one, length of residency is 1 to 2 years, 1 to 5, is that something
Oh.
important, or? Like how long you been living here?
Mhm.
How would we use that data?
Yeah,
Maybe no, because I didn't immediately go, yeah, like I did
In
with
terms of, what do,
That's it?
I wouldn't want people to think that we're weighting their answers more because they're a 40-year resident versus somebody who moved in 6 months, which I
Yeah,
don't think is what
well-
we would do.
Well,
Yeah.
weighing it would be, that's a different conversation, it's just understanding who is,
would it be, what if you asked, do you have a history in town? Like some people have a long history here, some don't. Is that not general?
It's hard to
Well, it might-
quantitate.
I
Yeah,
go
I
back
don't
to
know.
what I think Jonathan was leaning to, is you review the questions, and does that answer really affect what we read?
yeah.
yeah,
So
I think
age
that's-
group,
yeah.
living status, right, like homeowner, renter, unhoused, business owner, village, individuals under 18 in the household, or was that, were we still keeping that, or no?
We definitely want to know if there's kids.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, people
That's a
with
good
kids might have different, right?
How about just
Yeah.
number of children in your household?
was 0 being an answer? Yeah.
Okay, number of children. Okay. And then, just the town, the village you live in, just, and,
What part of town?
yeah, what part of town?
What part of town, yeah.
And the drop down.
Remember, this is our first attempt. If we go through all this stuff and we say we should have asked this, or we shouldn't have asked this, we can adjust for the next time too.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's talking about for the survey, but for the
Yeah.
meeting, we'll definitely pick up on what people are offering or what they're hesitant to offer, and we'll read the room.
Yeah, so, yeah, my goal is, just to make sure to get as much information, like people engagement from the surveys as possible, so that way it carries democratic weight moving forward. It's like, not 10 people that filled it, not 50 people. My goal is 5,000 at least.
So with the-
5,000 answers, because that will carry, it's a lot, may mean something more, right? That's way more than what shows up at any public meeting.
Yeah.
5,000, we engaged, so,
Okay.
so I'm gonna go hard on trying to get these people to answer these, like handing them out and stuff. I'll go door knocking. I will do it.
Like the Xfinity people.
Right. Oh my
Or
God.
they came to my house today,
When
and
you're
yesterday
ready to run
twice
for
during my
council,
nap time, I was
He's
like,
ready,
"Oh,
yeah.
yeah."
I'm gonna have to show up with a sign that
Right.
I'm not selling solar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a JW.
So,
Okay.
I'll email, a thread, to Ashley to request those on
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
You're working with her, that's fine.
And
Thank
just
you
to-
for
I
doing
guess
all
just to be
this, by the
clear-
way, Cody, thank you very much.
So we don't want to ask about race or gender?
I wouldn't,
No, race? No.
I wouldn't.
Or gender, no. No.
Yeah.
I-
Well, all of these are optional, no?
Yeah, gender,
I
at
think
the
we can
moment,
talk about
let's do
race
it as-
and gender. I think we
Yeah.
can. We don't have to, but
No,
I don't think we should be so turned off by that idea.
It's just
Well,
people.
same question, how
It's
would
just
that?
the
Well, I
people
think
we
people of
want.
different races or genders may have different experiences, for sure.
Totally different
It's
perspectives.
true,
Right.
That's fair.
So there's a few comments that have thrown that out, there's no, responses that have thrown that out, I'm just trying to, again, tie it back to the question of, I guess your vision would obviously be affected by your experience.
Right, if our survey responses, right, are 5,000 white men, right, is that truly kind of representative of, I suppose it's just data collection, really, right? I
Yeah,
guess
it
that's all
is.
this is about for me. I find that information useful, but it's.
I will say, gender, I could imagine women having a different point of view
Sure.
about
Well,
the
we could even
vision
stick
than
with
men.
that then if we want to
Yes,
negotiate,
that I
get
could
a meet
see.
middle ground, right?
I think for the survey, if it's gonna be opt-in at the end, I say.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
There's no issue in asking for it.
That's my point. That's
It
my
is
only point.
useful in aligning, like it would give us percentages if we know that 80% of Killingly falls into one demographic.
Well, we kinda know
And
that
we have
anyway.
100%
But I'm-
already, but we don't.
Yeah,
know what the
but we don't know
responses are.
about the response people, that's what I'm saying,
Right,
yeah.
that would give us a sense of like, is there just.
Participation.
That's exactly what yeah.
And it does, like, when it comes to making sure all the voices are at the table, which is an objective of ours.
It's a fair statement.
That is
It's-
not an
It's as
unreasonable way to
important
go
as,
about that.
as the village.
Okay. Cody,
So, yeah,
anything else?
I just added, gender and race
Yeah.
to the.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Keep on coming with good new thoughts, but
No, never mind.
okay. I welcome you all on the 22nd, except Jonathan. But as many of you that can come, thank you. We'll come early, obviously. I'll be there early too, as other will, and we'll move ahead. Ashley's going to get the room organized for us, provide the equipment that we need. I think we're basically starting to be ready to go. Agreed, everybody?
Yep.
Now your motion for?
Motion to go home.
All in agreement?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
So, question for you.
Oh, thank
When
you.
you went up and talked to